Welcome to the Nashville Tribute Band Podcast, The Listening Room with Jason Deere. Coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee. The official clothier and tailor of the Nashville Tribute Band is the Cater Shop. That's Cater with a K. Catershop.com. If you see the Nashville Tribute Band and we look good, it's all because of the Cater Shop. Sister Ford and Sister Deere are serving in the Norway, Oslo mission. We wanted to talk to them because life has changed a lot in the last 60 days, hasn't it? Yeah, a lot of missionaries have had their service end early and they returned home due to this COVID-19 pandemic. Why are you glad that you're still serving?
I'm glad I'm still serving because I'm only halfway done and I need 9 more months in order to finish out my mission. And I think the people of Norway really need us now more than ever. And I think a lot of people here in Norway, because they're kind of in a panic mode a little bit, I think that they're finally humbling themselves a little bit and opening their hearts to hear our message.
For me, it's kind of interesting because when I put in my mission papers to go, my big plan that I had laid out was that I would leave in September, which would have me come home in the middle of March because of transfers. But God had a different plan and he made me wait until December. And I think that being here now feels like, okay, there's a reason why I waited and I'm not just going home when I originally planned on going home anyway. And I've seen lots of miracles come from it, even though we're sitting in our apartments all day.
So how has service changed from before this thing and to now? How's it changed? How's your day-to-day changed?
It's pretty different. We are not allowed to eat with members anymore, which I know was a huge part of missionary work before, getting to see members face-to-face and trying to support them and strengthen them. So now we do a lot of Facebook proselyting in a way, and we try to find new people to teach on Facebook, and we teach over Facebook video the people that we do already teach. And
service has also been a big part of our missionary work. We had 2 places that we were doing service for where we would give food and clothes to people who needed it. And also we worked in a warehouse sorting things so that those groups who needed food and clothes could get the food that they needed. And now we are not allowed to do that service in the way that we have been before because it's very interactive with lots of people. But it's kind of been interesting to find little ways to still be able to serve people. A couple weeks ago, we got a phone call from a girl who is in Tromsø, which is North Norway, who said, I can't come home, but I have packages coming to my house. Can you guys go pick it up for me? Because we want them to send it back.
Oh, that's great.
So we've had different types of service, but we're still glad that we can do a little bit of it.
Are you seeing people, hearts soften, people more willing and ready to talk about things that are important?
Well, we're hoping we'll be able to see a lot of those miracles after this is all over because we can finally talk to people on the bus and on the street because we can't do any of that right now. But I know on Facebook we've seen a lot of miracles, which Facebook is a very strange way to be a missionary, I would say. But we've seen a lot of people interested in hearing the message about why we're here and especially about the second coming of Jesus Christ that I think everyone is realizing probably sooner than it is later. So yes, I would say, which has been pretty cool to see.
You guys want to talk about Maria?
Yeah, of course.
Tell us about Maria. How you found her and what that experience has been like.
Yeah. So Maria actually started as a self-referral. She had gotten a Book of Mormon after watching the Book of Mormon, the musical. And she really loved that musical. And about 7 months later, she had a school assignment. She's a photographer where she had to do a documentary type of project. And because she loved the musical so much, she was interested in learning more about what missionaries were all about and whether they were portrayed correctly in the musical and what Mormons actually believe in. In that moment, she picked up her Book of Mormon and saw a number. And so she called the number. She wanted to do a day in the life of a missionary and followed the elders around and also us a little bit, went to lessons, went and contacted on the street, met with members, came to church, came to Institute, home evening for young adults, and she loved every second of it. Actually, she was very surprised at how many people would actually say no to us on the street because she would ask people, hey, can I get them to talk to you and take pictures? And they'd say no. And she's like, oh, this hurts so much.
Wow.
But about a month later, the project was over. But she wasn't over. I started reading the Book of Mormon, and that's kind of when we were asking her to read or to pray with a specific question in mind and open the Book of Mormon to find an answer. And one by one, she kept getting answers to her prayers. And that's right when COVID-19 became a big deal here in Norway and we were stuck inside.
But we had the opportunity to teach her the rest of the lessons and go to her baptism, which was really, really awesome, really personal, very small, but very spiritual. Such a blessing to be able to be a part of, because the Spirit is so strong, and getting to see someone that you've come to love enter those waters is kind of indescribable and pretty amazing. She says that she's always super surprised that we're real people and that we have a sense of humor and stuff, but now she is praying about if she herself should go on a mission. So it's pretty exciting.
Wow, that's amazing. So this play that people were horrified about when it hit Broadway and became such a big hit, and probably does maybe a little disrespectfully, or maybe a little, without any kind of sacred consideration, maybe talks about, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in a light that some people may find offensive. But here, it's the reason that she chose the covenant,
right?
The reason, which is pretty cool. So opposition in all things is a good thing.
Yeah, and she likes to joke about it too. She read a lot of anti-material before she really met the missionaries, and while she was meeting with the missionaries, actually, because that was part of her research project. And even to this day, she still loves to joke about it. And at her baptism, she said, "So are you going to kill me before or after I get in the water?"
Tell me about some things that come to mind that you prepared for your mission, ways that you prepared for your mission that you're glad that you did, because they made a difference in how you serve.
I think service was a big one for me because I did not want to go on a mission at all. And so I think I wish I prepared more spiritually in a lot of ways. I did right before my mission, but I wish I took, a year to prepare more spiritually than I did. But service has always been a super, super big part of my life. I went to Ecuador to build orphanages, and I volunteered at nursing homes all throughout high school. And in college, I did a lot of service, mostly because I needed experience for school, but it turned into something I actually really loved doing. And in Norway, sometimes you're not teaching a lot of people, and you end up picking up a lot more service opportunities than teaching opportunities, which eventually turn into teaching opportunities, which is really cool. But people love being served, and they love serving you. And so that's something that I think prepared me.
Something that really prepared me is, I think, the little things that my parents have done in teaching us to do chores correctly, clean the bathroom, cook food, teaching us to build habits that can lead places, as scripture study and prayer. And a lot of people say that they're the primary answers, but it truly is the primary answers because they're the most important and the basic. And I'm really grateful for my parents who worked diligently to teach me the principles so that I can carry it with me and have that in my heart and say, I don't doubt what my mother said, and be who I am today.
So what about serving is totally different than what you thought? What aspect of it was like you never dreamed that it would be like that before? And maybe it has to do with Norway specifically, but what was a big surprise to you?
I don't think I expected to be half speaking so many different languages, because you get your call and they say you will be teaching in the Norwegian language, and you think, okay, I'm just going to be speaking Norwegian all the time. But I've had to learn to find scriptures in an Arabic or a Persian Book of Mormon. And I've taught a couple lessons in Japanese, or I've been to lessons where we speak Spanish and some people only speak English, or I've used Google Translate to try to communicate with someone who's Serbian. And I never really expected to communicate with people of so many different backgrounds and so many different cultures and so many different languages.
That's true. And somehow we get the lessons across, even though there's a lot of Google Translate usage. And in my last area, my main investigator was a family that was from Syria, didn't speak any English at all. And I was pretty new, so I didn't speak much Norwegian. So it was pretty hard, but I ended up learning a little bit of Arabic, and we somehow learned the gospel together. I
think Brad and I'd be in trouble serving in Norway because about all we speak is Southern.
We hardly even speak English.
That's right. Certainly not the King's English, but if you were a missionary going into the field in the next couple of months, what advice would you give these young kids looking at coming in the next couple of months?
I would say trust the Lord's plan, not your own plan. that's kind of been my motto on my mission. I think now, so more than ever, just trust his plan, whether that means you're going to have to wait for a long time, whether that means you'll be serving in a different mission than you thought, which is the case for a lot of people, or whether even you came home from a mission, which is what we thought was going to happen for a while. And that was pretty scary, but ultimately you have to trust in his plan, because it's going to be better than yours in the long run.
Well, and Sister Deere, you were on a visa wait for a second, which was not in your plans coming out of the mission training center. You had to go to a different mission for a second. And I'm sure that when there's a change in plans of what we expect in any of our lives, that's never fun or never comfortable, because it's just not what we're expecting to happen. But in your experience, was that a good thing?
Well, at first, no, I was not happy about it at all. I wanted to go to Norway. I was scared I was going to lose my Norwegian. I was not happy about it, especially only going about 20 minutes from the MTC. When all my other MTC group got to go to Vegas or Washington or places like that. So I was a little upset, but ultimately, and it was hard. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be, actually. But it was a good thing because I learned a lot. I did make a lot of friends, and I ended up teaching some of the most amazing people. But I think the thing I learned the most was because it was so hard. And the beginning of missions in general are very hard. But I learned a lot about the atonement, actually, because I studied it and because I had to use it. And so I think, not to get too churchy, but I learned a lot about the atonement.
Wow.
It's amazing.
I heard about charity my whole life, and we all know that it's the pure love of Christ. And I thought that charity was something that we could have, with us all the time. And it certainly is. But on my mission, I certainly learned in a few instances of what it was truly like to see somebody else as the way Christ sees them for just a moment, which I would consider one of the greatest gifts of my mission, was to be able to have a glimpse at someone like that, to see them and to love them like that, where mortality is stripped away for just a second. So when you close your eyes and you think of the one person so far in your mission where you experience that, tell me about that.
So the question is,
I'm not a very good one, apparently. The question is that when you look back on your mission, who is the first person that comes to mind when you think of feeling true charity and seeing someone else as Christ sees them?
I would say one of my companions would be the first person that comes to mind. In the beginning, I had a very hard time with her, not because I didn't like certain things that she did or anything, but just because I didn't feel like we were a good match. We thought very differently, and although I felt like I was being there for her and all that kind of thing, I don't think I necessarily was. But then in a call home with my mom and my sister, it really kind of changed my perspective. My mom's words really hit me hard, and I think it really changed the way I saw things. And she said, I can't tell you whether or not you're going to regret anything on your mission, but I can tell you that you won't regret helping her. It made me rethink some thoughts that I had, and I'd always known that she was a child of God and that she had a lot of potential, but I didn't really see her who she was. I wanted to see her as who she was going to be in 8 months, and I wanted her to be that now. But in that moment, I could really see her as the way that she is right now is what she needs to be right now. And it changed the way that I was as a companion and that I was as a friend. And it really strengthened our relationship.
Do you love that person?
I love her.
Well, let me tell you what, Sister Ford, that lesson that you learned on your mission right there will serve you far beyond it, because there are moments when you're not going to like the person you're married to. You're gonna, as crazy as you are about them, there are going to be moments where that's going to be true and that's going to come into play. So knowing that, remember, Jesus said very important words. He said, love one another. He didn't say like one another, or we'd all be in bad trouble. Not a requirement to like people, but we can love people that we don't even like, and we can love people that we don't even understand. And I love what you just said.
That is a wonderful lesson. That's one of the main reasons I feel like we're here on this earth is to figure out how to exist with people that are different than us. That is a beautiful thing that you just shared.
What did Will Rogers say? He said, I never met a man never knew a man I didn't like. We love you guys. We love all the missionaries so much. The most important thing I would say to you guys is that you're set apart. The apostles are set apart to testify of Jesus Christ. That's their number one job. And of course they teach. You guys are set apart to teach. So Brad and I could spend 100 days on social media, and during those 100 days, we'll never be set apart to teach with the power that you are during this time. And let me tell you what, you'll miss that. You'll miss that one special little element when your mission's over. I promise you that. So enjoy it now and use it.
Sister Ford, good luck to you when you go home.
Thank you.
And Sister Deere, it's great to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you, guys.
Are you related to any Deers back in Tennessee or anything?
I sure hope not.
All right. Love you both. You guys be good and work hard. Appreciate you.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Please subscribe to our podcast, Nashville Tribute Band Listening Room, and please share us with your friends. Tell them about our Instagram, our podcast, and of course, our music. And please visit us on our Facebook page, Nashville Tribute Band, and hit that like button. And please take the opportunity to visit our store at NashvilleTributeBand.com for music and merchandise. We'll see you next week. Be good and do good things. You've been listening to the Nashville Tribute Band podcast, The Listening Room, with Jason Deere. Make sure and subscribe to our podcast and share it with your friends. And visit NashvilleTributeBand.com for music, information, and so much more. And make sure and enjoy this podcast each and every week.